up guys, Juggalo here. Welcome to PC News You Can Use. Graphene enhances efficiency of heat spreaders by 25%, and basically scientists has created a heat spreader consists of graphene, and it is 25% better at thermal dissipation than copper. It's cheaper than copper, so that means that they might be able to pass the savings to us and start developing heat sinks and everything like that, so that'd be great. Alright, next up we have Gainward Readies GeForce GTX 680 Phantom 4GB variant. It's going to have 4 gigs, so they're saying that it's going to have a back plate to help cool the RAM that's going to be mounted on the back, it looks like, as well. They have a fan, 2 fans in the center right here, and I'm hoping that's a 6+8 pin. It doesn't really have a detailed list as far as that, but it does have the price, $878.70, so if you want that, have it. But I personally won't be getting that. I'll be getting the GK110, which is supposed to be coming out soon, so I can't wait for that. Next up, Xbox Durango pack 16-core PowerPC CPU, and basically it's developed by AMD, has the equivalent graphics processing power of the 7000 series, so that means that we're going to get more detail in our games, and hopefully this will help the PC community as well, because we might not be able to see as many console ports as there are. Example would be Call of Duty for sure. Next up we have Borderlands 2 development kits, or not kits but DLC, and they're going to be coming out with different stages of kits, I should say. In the Deluxe Vault Hunters Edition, it's going to be $100. So that's just ridiculous, because you got to think the developers are going to more than likely get their money back by developing this game, and any downloadable content should already be on the disc. So I won't be getting any downloadable content for this game if I do get it for the PC. Next up is the ZOTAC ZBOX Nano XS, and it is really small. It packs a 1.65 GHz dual-core processor, 6320 GPU by ATI, HDMI output, 2 gigs of GDR3. It has 64 gigabytes of SATA, or basically mSATA SSD. So this little thing right here is pretty nice, and this is like a PC that people are trying to save money, and all they would have to do is get a monitor and a keyboard and mouse, and that's it, and hook it up. Or they can use it as a multimedia PC almost, it looks like. And here it is. You have USB 3.0, you have your HDMI, you have an Ethernet connection in the front, you have basically a card reader for SD cards as well as the Sony cards as well. We have eSATA, your headphone jack, and your PC jack, or I should say microphone jack. So it looks pretty nice. Next up, Crysis 3 pre-orders spotted with a leaked banner, and basically Crysis 3 is going to be set in New York but have a jungle theme. So Crysis 3 plus Jumanji is what I'm thinking, and they're supposed to be releasing details tomorrow sometime, so look out for that. Then next up, I guess Cubitek announces world's smallest EATX motherboard supporting case, the Magic Cube AIO. It's nothing too special, you know, it's a standard ordinary case. It has USB 3.0. It has holes for cable management, very minimum though. Only has 3, 1, 2, 3. Has a hole for your CPU cooler if you want to put like a, I don't know, Cooler Master 212 on it, Dark Knight, all that good stuff, okay? Now let's go back over here. Now Indilinx Everest, essentially Marvell silicon with a custom firmware by OCZ, and I think that's pretty cool, and they're saying that's a good deal and everything, and I need to learn more about SSDs and concerning this kind of stuff, so I guess this is a good thing. Now next up we're going to have desktop Core i3 Ivy Bridge CPUs will not arrive until Q3, so that is in, I would say, the June time frame or later. So look out for that. And it has a 55 watt TDP. And the T models will just have a 30 watt TDP. Alright. Next up we have the 1366 by 768 most popular screen ratio. Overtakes to 1024 by 768. Now my question is, are they calculating laptops too or not? Because laptops seem to have the 1366 resolution versus, you know, a custom gaming PC that most people are going to use 1080p or higher monitors. Alright, now next up, this is a little neat device. It's made by Sentry and it's called the USB 3.0 drive cloning dock, and this will enable you to hook up two SSDs. Say one SSD has an OS and all your games and all that stuff, but you want to switch to a bigger one. Well, this will enable you to do that, and it will clone the information from one hard drive or SSD to another one, and you can use that as your main drive, which is pretty awesome. It's made in Japan, I believe, because it's saying JPY or whatever, so I'm not sure if that's Japan, but I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, Japanese yen. And it's going to be 61 bucks here in the US. Alright, next up, Intel to bring Ivy Bridge launch forward to April 23rd. So if you guys are looking to Intel Ivy Bridge, the 23rd is when it's going to be released of this month. Alright, next up, ASUS releases ROG Xonar Phoebus gaming sound card set, and here is the card itself and everything. So, you know, this card's probably going to be pretty pricey in my opinion. Alright, there it is. You get a little dock for your cables and everything, and a sound knob, all that good stuff. And then we have Gigabyte introduces the G1 SGS gaming PC chassis. Now, Gigabyte makes some interesting chassis, and here it is. That looks really funky, in my opinion. You have two fans in the front that look like 120s or 140s. You have a audio jack, you have a microphone jack in the front, and here is the side of the case right here. So you have two holes for cable management, but it's blocked by all these cables right here. So you have one here, one here. You have a hole right here, and then a hole right here for your CPU. So there it is. On the other side, it has holes for water cooling and everything, but it looks like you might be able to put a radiator internally in there. So might need some modding, of course. You get a fan on the top, and yeah, that's it right there if you guys are interested in that case. Next up, Valve is recruiting electronics engineer for developing homegrown hardware. So basically they're making their own gaming platform or gaming box called the Steam box, which in turn will have all of the Steam games like Portal 2, Portal 1, Half-Life, Half-Life, and a couple other games, or slew of the games that are out there, and everything made by Steam. So we'll see how that goes and everything. And then AMD is going to cut prices to the 7970 and the 77 series. I am seeing from $549 to as low as $489. The 7950 is to go down as much as 50 bucks. The 7770, so the 7770 series should go down by 15. So we'll see how that goes. And now, next up, Intel is trying to push for higher resolution PC displays. So what they want is a PC that has a resolution of 3840 by 2160 pixels. So, God, that would be awesome if they can actually do it. They want to do it in 2013. Next up, Activision Blizzard being sued for virtual world infringement. So it's like the Call of Duty series where you're able to be in your own world, and the World of Warcraft, and it says Warcraft violated its patent and all that stuff, and they're asking for fair compensation. So that can be millions of billions or trillions, I guess, how you look at it, depending how far back they're going to go when they started patent infringing on these guys and everything. Alright, next up, EVGA announces the GTX 680 SC Signature Series. Here's the card right here, and it comes with a backplate. Backplate mainly is just for looks, really, in my opinion. Let's see what other series or little doodads we got going on. It has 5-phase PWM design, has an 8+ 6 pin, so it'll be good for you guys who want to overclock. It has a boost clock of 1058 megahertz. It has 6200 megahertz for the memory, and it has 2 gigs of memory on it. Really? Only 2 gigs, and you're calling it SC? Why not 4 gigs on this card? Come on. And the price tag of this card is going to be $529. And then the GTX 680 Signature Plus, which comes with the backplate, is going to be $549. So it's going to cost you $20 more just for a fancy backplate on the graphics card. Go figure, right? Next up, NVIDIA stops production of GeForce GTX 580s, so no more production of the 580s. Pretty much everybody's just trying to get rid of their 580s. I know the 580s have gone down in price a lot on a lot of e-retailers like Newegg and everything like that. I don't know if Micro Center will ever lower their prices, in my opinion, because they're pretty expensive. And then next up, more tech talk about the Ivy Bridge. And the Ivy Bridge gets 95 TDP, and it's worse. It says it's a worse overclocker than Sandy Bridge. So see you guys saying, oh, why don't you get Ivy Bridge? This is the reason why, because it's a poor overclocker. That's why I said I'm going to wait to Ivy Bridge E. That will be coming out sometime in 2013. So that's the reason why I waited. Don't just go out and buy something seeing that it's going to be the latest and greatest. Look at Bulldozer, for example. Everybody thought it was going to be great, but then it turned into a huge mess. This is basically Intel screwing up again, saying, oh, get this product, when a lot of people want to overclock it. Or I wouldn't say a lot of people, but a decent amount of people want to overclock this processor. But I think they said they got at least a 1.0 gigahertz overclock. And basically they said when they got it up to 4.6 to 4.7 gigahertz, the CPU got so hot that it started throttling back how fast the CPU ran and everything. So I'll have a article on the link description, as well as all the articles that I talked about today, and that will wrap it up for PC news you can use. Comment, subscribe, rate this video, click that like button. You guys have a great day. Bye.